Hey, this is Kina Knisley with Real Talk about real estate, and I'm with Keller Williams Honolulu. But today I have Kelly Patton. Did I say that right? Kelly
Did.
Patton. And
Did.
she is in Florida. She's going to tell us which area of Florida. So, which area do you serve?
So I am along the east coast of Florida in Flagler County, which is Palm Coast and Flagler Beach and portions of Ormond Beach that fall in Flagler County. So we are right in between St. Augustine and Daytona Beach down in Volusia County.
Okay, so where is that in conjunction to like Jensen Beach? Are you encompass
So
Jensen Beach?
that's about probably 3 hours south.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't know Florida at all. I will tell you one time we went and we did a cruise out of Miami and
Okay.
then we were going to Orlando. It took me 3 days to drive because I'm not good at road trips. I live on an island. I'm good about an
Well,
hour and a half in the car and then I'm get antsy. So it took us 3 days to go Miami to Orlando, which is probably
and those are some of the most congested areas and highways
we
of the
stopped. We
state.
stopped at Jensen Beach and looked at a property. We actually put in an offer, and then they came back, and it was leasehold, which we have a lot of leaseholds. And I was shocked. I didn't realize Florida had leaseholds, but which killed the deal because they $1,000 a month lease fee. So it would have
Right.
made an adorable little Airbnb, but that was an extra $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
uh, but now, what about Airbnbs in your area? Is it a good place to do
You
short
know, it
term?
that's a great question, and people are always shocked to know that there is not a lot of now in the city of Palm Coast. So there's really only three cities in Flagler County, is Palm Coast, and then you have the mainland Palm Coast, and then an unincorporated beachside area over the bridge. You've got Flagler Beach, really kind of like our central beach area, and then Bunnell, which is the county seat, and it's kind of a more western area. So the city of Palm Coast Mainland actually does not have any restrictions or ordinances against short-term rental at this time. But on Beachside, along in the city of Flagler Beach, they actually, unless you are in a small area that's like a tourism district, or have grandfathered in license, there's not a lot of Airbnb permitted.
Yeah, that's what they've
And
done here. They really shrunk down the areas,
yeah,
which I mean, I see both sides, right? I see the
yeah,
investment wanting to make money, but then I mean, you need homes for people that are affordable. And then,
yeah.
the argument is there doesn't keep them affordable. So, what is it if I want to buy a home in your area? What's your average price point?
So average price point in the city of Palm Coast mainland side, you're probably somewhere around 360 is probably about and then when you head over towards Flagler Beach, you're probably double that. You're probably more, I would say in the 750 range for median. Now, if you're off the several streets in from A1A, that Ocean Shore Boulevard, you can get 3-2 Ranch, but there are a lot of they're all older, so they've got some really quirky, funky ones too that
Yeah.
maybe have just different designs than your typical. You could get those for somewhere around 500, and you're
Okay.
only 2 or 3 blocks off that you could walk to the beach.
Yeah.
So, but right along A1A beachside, excluding condos, that you're probably around 750 for median.
Yeah. That's not horrible because our beachfront,
No,
you're looking at
we still
three
have.
or up to 50 million. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
see, we have some of the most affordable beachfront property along the East Coast still. You really can get really great deals still. So, of
Well,
course, we have, if you're directly on the ocean, you're in the, 2.5 to 4 range, but still compared to other areas in
yeah,
Florida
that's
or, yeah.
so who's moving there? Do you have military? Do you have industry? Or who's moving to?
A lot of people that are retiring do move here now because that has been consistently over the years, and we still see that, but it's changing. We are in the last, 5 to 7 years, maybe even a decade. That's changing. We've had more families come to the area. When the city of Palm Coast was first designed, the developers, ITT, they came in and it was designed like the entire city was going to be one big PUD. So they had like ordinances and covenants just like you would for, an HOA for the entire city. Now that didn't stick, but some of those ordinances still exist today, that sometimes people feel like, oh, are we in an HOA? And we're not. But you can't park jet skis and trailers and boats and things in your driveway in the city.
Oh,
And
really?
that shocks people
Where,
because especially
yeah, that is. Where do they put them? I mean, I'm
they
assuming
have
everybody
to.
has them, but
Yes. Well, that's the thing. They're like, wow, it's in a coastal town. And, because there is no portion of Palm Coast that is more than a 20-minute drive from the beach in Flagler. So that's really nice.
so are they putting those in their garages? Do you have the
Some,
employee
depending on
garage?
the site, if they are not able to fit in the garage, some will, keep them in the backyard, but mostly they're having to store them at a storage facility that are, made for that. We do have a couple of boaters communities actually that just recently opened up selling their boat slips to accommodate
Oh,
for that. So, but it is changing. We have more families coming to the area, and I think that's going to keep changing because there is still a ton of growth right now happening. We're still one of the fastest Florida cities growing, and that's bringing more big box things like the BJ's Clubhouse, like a Costco,
oh,
things
okay.
like that. So the more things like that are coming to the area, um, that's gonna kind of really change it. So it's a mixture. A lot of people from up north on the East Coast, New York, New Jersey, um, Massachusetts, Philadelphia. We have a lot of
Yeah,
um,
just coming
Northeast.
down, just wow, because yeah, your home prices are so reasonable. So what's
Yeah.
fun to do there?
So, one thing I love about our beaches in Flagler County, so that's another thing. It's a very small town vibe. There's no buildings that are permitted over 3 stories.
Oh,
So, unlike to the north and the south of us, in let's say St. Johns County and St. Augustine or in Daytona, you have lots of high-rise condos or hotels and things that line the beach. So, when you're driving, you can't necessarily see too much of the ocean. But
yeah.
in Flagler, there is, as you get into the unincorporated areas of Palm Coast going up through there, then they start to have some private equity golf communities there um, that have homes and things right on the beach. Other than that, you can see the ocean driving mostly all the way up from Ormond and Volusia. There's a couple of high-rise condos that are on the west side of Ocean Shore Boulevard, like the Aliki and the Nautilus, and so few of them. Otherwise, no tall buildings.
Wow.
So
Now what about billboards? Can you guys do billboards?
we don't really have billboards
Yeah, we
in
can't do billboards.
really.
Central block views. Yeah, which is, I'm so jealous
Okay.
of these agents. You're like, oh, I put up a billboard. Yeah, we do.
No, we don't. I mean, we have them, on the highway, but we don't really have them anywhere besides like along I-95. We've got those.
So that is,
But
I
yeah,
mean, it keeps it more quaint, I think, and more.
I do. It is a local owned, surf shops and there's not even really a ton of those. Local owned eateries, no chain restaurants on the beach side in Flagler. They have like dog surfing competitions, parades, they actually just added, oh gosh, it's probably been there maybe for a year, the Compass Margaritaville Hotel,
Oh,
right? And that for years ago in the 60s and stuff, they had a prior motel there that was torn down. And so there's been nothing there for a long time. So for some folks, it was hard to see the hotel go up because that's really the only hotel. There are maybe 3 or 4 locally owned motels as you head south, heading towards Volusia County. But that's really the only hotel we have like that now. And they did a great job. It's beautiful. You can walk to some local coffee shops and eateries, and it's right across from where the pier is, which they're rebuilding right now.
oh, did it
Um,
get wiped out in a storm or?
so
Yeah.
yeah, it's over the years, the different storms have kind of chipped away a little bit at it. But in, I want to say 22, Hurricane Ian really took off a large portion of it on the end. So it just kind of sped up what they were planning to do is to redo it because it's the 100-year-old wooden pier. So they've had plans out in the future to redo it, and that just sped it up. So they just started that in the last few months, It'll take about 18 to 24 months. It's going to double in size. And so that will be great. A lot of people do fishing out there. We did that as when we were younger as a kid. We something we love to do. But it's really, and our beaches in Flagler are different from like when you go up to St. Augustine, Matanzas, they're the white sand. They're cinnamon colored sand in Flagler.
Oh,
So yeah, and it's more of an orange
wow.
red with like pieces of shell and but a lot of people do a lot of surfing in Flagler. And one of the favorite things that we like doing is in the morning go for a walk on the beach and then you can just walk up the steps. There's a place called Funky Pelican that you can have a great breakfast that's right out on the beach. So it's very quaint.
Every time I do one of these, I want to go. I always tell people this is like a little travel channel more than a real.
It, yeah, that it kind of is. You kind of learn little
It
things that
is.
you would
I
maybe.
learned something, and I
Yeah,
started these videos because I've not lived on the mainland in 27 years. I go, my kids are there, spend a couple weeks,
okay.
but I'm focused on my children, right?
Yeah,
The grandbabies.
of
And
course.
so this is so great because I learn about all these areas that I have never been to. So yeah, I've got my own little travel channel going on.
Yeah, you do. I love it.
So,
I love watching your videos. And
so
if you like the outdoors too, like, and that is another thing in Flagler County, the city of Palm Coast. There's over 130 miles of outdoor trails,
oh,
and they're all connected to each other within the
oh
city.
wow.
So for walking, hiking, bicycling, there's lots of places you can kind of drop in a kayak if you want and get in the water. Over 12 different parks in the county, and some of them are dog friendly. And the beach, we do have an area of the beach that's dog friendly as well. So if you, as much growth is happening here and a lot of building that's happening, there is a tremendous amount still of outdoor area that they are retaining and a lot of preserve area, which is why a lot of people also like
Yeah, because
coming here.
now can you get bigger lots when you buy a house? Like we're 5,000 square foot and you think you've got a lot of land. Like
Right.
I can't touch my neighbor. But so
Right.
what's your lot sizes that people
So
could?
outside of HOAs, we're about a quarter. The standard lot size in Palm Coast is a quarter acre, 10,000 square feet. You can find some double lots, out there now. In a lot of the HOAs, it's closer to 7,000 square feet for a lot.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's very similar for the lot sizes when you go over the bridge to Flagler Beach.
yeah,
They're more,
that's a great space for
yeah,
people that, I always get people, I want at least 10,000 square feet. Yeah.
yeah,
Then you can put three houses on that here, right? If it's
yeah.
zoned right, right. So yeah. No, well, what else do you want people to know about your area?
So I think, it's something that I enjoy so much about it is if you do like the outdoors, we talked about that. It has just a different feeling. If you want to kind of get into the little busier areas, I mean, you're only 30 minutes from St. Augustine if you want to go visit the oldest city, in the nation and then go see a lot of the historical things about that. You're a 30-minute drive there. If you want to get into a little bit bigger city in Volusia and head down into Ormond and Daytona Beach, where the racing is, and Bike Week and all of that, you're, a 30-minute drive there. So geographically, it's located and just that you don't feel like you're in the center of a huge city, but you can be in one very quickly if you'd like. And so we're an hour from the Jacksonville airport to the north of us, and about an hour and a half east of the Orlando International Airport.
Oh,
So
like
for
relatively close. Yeah.
yeah. So people do like that too. If you are someone that's moving here that are going to mostly work remotely, but that you need to travel ever so often to fly back for work, it's pretty easy to get to an airport.
That's perfect. Well, thank you so much. This has been
You're
awesome.
welcome.
So if
Thank you for
you'd
having me.
like more information about her area, I'd love to get you connected. And this has been Kina Knisley with Real Talk about real estate. See you on the next one.
Bye, Tina.